What have these last 6 months look like for you? There was one point, I think you said you were working 80 hours a week on TNA. February, that comes to a screeching halt. So what have these last 6 months look like?
Well, the funny thing is, look, I mean, obviously not the choice of how I wanted things to play out. Took me by, a bit of I can't say I was shocked when it actually happened because I could see the process playing out where, we weren't quite on the same page on things. And, as I said, on Busted Open, I found out 2 days before Hard to Kill.
But then you still went out to Hard to Kill, put on a good face, and then you were there another 3 weeks after that?
Yeah, look, I mean, first of all, Len Asper could have not told me that night. But I knew, by that night, I already knew. And I mean, it was okay, I told him, you and me are having a conversation, and we had an honest conversation. And I said, look, I disagree with it. I don't like it, but it's your decision to make. And I said, this is what I'll do. I'll get on that plane tonight and go to Las Vegas. I will make sure that we have 2 amazing kick-ass shows in Las Vegas. I'll lock down with the team. I'll make sure that we go into Orlando and we get you out 4 TVs so that you're in a position to have, because you're going to have a lot to deal with. And this way, at least, you're going to have 5 weeks in the can from when I walk out that door, the end of Orlando. And that was my goal, right? I was going to finish up those shows in Orlando, walk out there, and then, just either walk off into the sunset or like the old monster movie, where Godzilla just slowly goes back into the water and disappears, lonely and depressed. It's going to be one of those things, right? And
which one was it?
A combination of both. But I mean, look, it was certainly melancholy. And the hardest part for me was telling people, because there was a certain amount of look, part of me wanted to tell everybody, which isn't possible. And part of my conversations with Anthem were there's some people I have to tell that deserve to hear this from me. So I took a small group of people there, and that last day in Orlando, I kind of went around and told a handful and said, you can't say anything. This is what's happening. Da-da-da-da-da. And then I left there. I went back to my hotel room. A couple of people came by, and this was the hardest part. I would tell people and they'd cry. And when they cry, I cry. And then it's I got to my room and almost okay, here we are. And then a talent reached out and said, hey, can there's a couple who wanted to come see me. And I was like, sure. It's I opened the door, they tear up. I was like, okay, I can't do this. Just being around people is just, it's I'm got a lot to process. And I didn't process it because, and this is how I'm built, right? There's something to do. So when we had that call on that Thursday night before Hard to Kill, okay, this sucks, not happy, but this is the mission, and you have to complete it. And I said, I was almost if I'm going to go out, if this is going to be the last thing that anybody ever sees, it's going to be one of the best things they ever see. Handling this rebranding was very important to me. I fought for this rebranding. There was a lot of people, I would have rebranded at TNA day one, except I was told coming in, we can't rebrand. And we had a conversation about it, and you look at the history, TNA to Impact to TNA to Impact to TNA to GFW to Impact. And it's hey guys, let's change the name. It wouldn't work. But how can I nicely say, I put my heart and soul into the Impact brand, but only because to me it was still TNA.